Hi, I'm Stephen Kenward. I also perform and record under the name The Warden, and I'm glad to be part of the 2020 Create compilation, and I'm going to tell you about my song Hard Times. The song was inspired by a phone call with a close friend of mine on the night of the last election. It was dawning on us that it probably wasn't going to go the way we wanted it to, so we were sharing frustrations about the way the country's been for the last 10 years and the way it seemed it might continue to be for the next few years. And I had that call in mind when I was writing the opening chords and trying to come up with phrases and words over that sequence. And it quite quickly developed into this social commentary, complaining in a way about having a leader who's more like a court jester, the environmental impact of floods in the country, and the anger we see on social media, and at its worst, the tragedy in Grenfell Tower, the fire there just a few years ago. And yeah, the song grew out of me wanting to express that anger and put it somewhere. The challenging and the interesting part of the song was then having it have an optimistic or positive ending, because I didn't just want it to be this contained piece of anger and frustration. And the phone call itself hadn't ended that way either. At the end of the call, we talked about how we can both be positive and try to be kind despite this frustration and despite things not going the way we want to. And really, that's the best thing anybody can do when times are hard, is try and be kind and positive as much as you can. So I went back to an old notebook from last summer, and that had a few lines that were close to what I wanted. It said, life comes from the sun, change comes from the storm, we breathe on all the same in our tattered forms. And it was a bit clunky, so I reworked it into what's the coda in the song now, which is, change comes from the storm and life spills from the flood. The best of us are broken, but we still love. And that was a message I wanted to leave the listener with. So even though you can relate to the frustrations I'm talking about, perhaps, hopefully you'll remember that, you know, the best people are the ones who are broken, who've faced hard times, but still decide to love and be kind to everyone around them. The finished version, it has lots of synths and programmed drums and manipulated vocals and effects, but I'm going to play the song for you now the way it was composed, which was just with voice and classical guitar. Hope you like it, and I can't wait to hear it on the vinyl alongside all the other tracks from the other artists. Cheers. You said to me, we've got a hard time coming. The fools are getting louder. The king's become a jester. And all this rising anger seems to leave no space for new water. No. We had some hope there was a lifeline, but it frayed between our fingers. A spark came from the rope, but now there's fire in the tower, and the only word they shout is order. How do we still love when we can't afford the heat to be warm? How do we stay calm when they corner us? How do we still love when we can't afford the heat to be warm? How do we stay calm when the flames rise up? The devil's on my back, telling me to hate. Might help me to unwind if I dabble in the fool's game. Oh, we're tired of having dreams, and you can't tear down a wall with your words. Change comes from the storm, and life spills from the flood. The best of us are broken. The best of us are broken. The best of us are broken, but we still love.